Why, hello there. It is I, Mark, Richard Rosenberg I, and it is time for another episode of On Reading. Last time we were together, I was reading a thesaurus, one of my favorite tomes or books, and I was enraptured with words. And today's word is evidence. Do you see it there, right below evict? Evidence, synonym, see indication, testimony, evidence, display, expose, attest, bespeak, betoken, confirm, indicate, prove, testify. Well, readers. I also use something that the kids use these days called the internet. And I found a definition there. Let me share it with you now. Evidence, noun. The available body of facts or information indicating whether a belief or proposition is true or valid. Now, I also found synonyms on the same internet page. Proof, documentation, substantiation, reinforcement for, authentication, verification, grounds for, backing for, confirmation, support for, and affirmation. Now, readers of gentle folk and otherwise, yesterday we left here with this part unfilled in by me, because I wanted you to do it. However, I am here to say that your evidence must be supported and supporting your main idea. So what was the main idea of the piece on Sydney Chen about music boxes? What did you come up with? What was that passage about? My word, it's missing. Something has happened. Oh, yes, that's right. Mr. Rosenberg cut it out, and he put it in a journal. But before I go there, I'd like to read from here. The book One Tiny Turtle by Nicola Davies, illustrated by Jane Chapman. Far, far out to sea, land is only a memory. An empty sky touches the water. Just beneath the surface is a tangle of weed and driftwood where tiny creatures cling. This is the nursery of a sea turtle. Remember, readers, this is a nonfiction or expository text too. It's going to teach us about sea turtles. But not just any sea turtles. That's right, Kendall Steph Curry. That's evidence. Yes, Kendall Steph Curry. He's a friend. It is clear to me that I will mostly learn about the loggerhead turtle, the loggerhead sea turtle. In this book, I should learn mostly about that turtle. Now, Mr. Rosenberg, your teacher, and that wonderful seamstress of information, put the article about Sydney Chen and this introductory paragraph in a journal. He cut and taped every page, and I believe you saw that in yesterday's movie. Every page, including the one on Instagram. And it is here that I want to find evidence to help me discover a main idea. MI for main idea. I think this whole thing is about making music boxes. Oh, commercials. And maybe more how to make music boxes. That's what I think. But you know what, reader? After reading closely the article again, also known sometimes as a close reading, I realized that this article didn't teach me how to make a music box. So that cannot be my main idea. Oh, giant king. If that's not the main idea, what is it? Clearly, I must keep looking for a main idea supported by evidence. In this spinning, spinning, spinning world, something to fix my location on. I'll go to my reading. Well, in this page, besides this awesome word, love it so, it seemed to mostly be about SC for Sydney Chen's inspiration. Of MB for music boxes. Is that the main idea? Random scrolls? Well, let me read on. That's when he discovered the artistic possibilities of the tinkly jewels. It's a delightful sound, so naive and childlike, he says. It has so many limitations, but there's so much you can do with it. That's still about inspiration. Now, with the shelter in place, order in effect, Chen, 48, has hours to devote to the laborious and time-consuming process of hand-punching paper rolls for his 30-note music boxes. It's like creating player piano music for a doll's house. Here is the quiche soufflé I'm cooking up of our new main idea. SC, Sydney Chen uses love of MB music boxes to be creative during SIP, shelter in place. Is that the main idea? Ham, Alexander Hamilton, radio, ham, radio, hat that I'm wearing? I must read on to find out. The Metal Gear mechanisms, which he buys online, produce a tiny sound that only flourishes when attached to a resonating body. Wood works best for that. Chen favors bamboo boxes of various kinds, but even a coffee table will do in a pinch. Now this part is about how he builds them. It gives us enough information to know a little bit about how to do this thing, but not enough to teach us how to do this thing. For example, I can't make a music box right now. Therefore, this is not the main idea. Let's read on. As far as making the arrangements, Chen says part of the process is discovering which music works best for this specialized format. Repeated notes and sustained notes aren't possible, and anything with too many notes in the mid-range becomes muddy. This part is mostly about the musical choices Sid Chen makes, which is great. However, he could make these choices even if it weren't shelter in place. He could make them in the world we had 4 months ago, or 3, or 10. Let's continue our pursuit and hunt. So far, he's arranged music by Eric Satie and Coldplay, and he recently tackled the theme from the sitcom Some Creek in honor of the series finale. But the music he keeps coming back to is Bach's. When things are unsettled or I feel like I'm not organized in my own mind, that's when I tend to go back to Bach, either for listening or playing, he says. It helps make sense of things.
Come back to meet you. Tell you.
So far, seems like this is about musical choices, this paragraph, and this one could be about Shelter in Place, but it doesn't really talk about it. And honestly, the less we say about this part, the better. However, you could see some of his work there. I feel a bit stuck. I don't know if I have the main idea. I do have a lot of evidence, but what's the main idea? It's in these treacherous moments that I like to talk to myself. Self? What do you think? Go back to the first title. Yes! Stuck at home, artists find new creative outlets. Bay Area favorites discovering ways to connect with their audiences while sheltering in place. So maybe the main idea is how artists like Sydney Chen remain creative and share with audiences during shelter in place. That's right, it was in front of us all along. In this cut-up date book section. The article wasn't just about Sydney Chen, was it? It also had other people, like Stefan Jenkins and Armistead Maupin, Carrie Birch, Chris Steed, Laura Frazier, Katie Rubin, and Maya J. Chung. All of these artists. I realize, readers, I had to go away from my narrow focus and zoom out, as it were. Looking at the bigger picture helped me figure out a main idea. Thank you for joining me on our second episode of On Reading. Once again, I am Mark Richard Rosenberg I, and I must go back now to my thesaurus reading. Evil. Eventual. Everlastingness. Everything. Evict. Happy reading.